Hey guys, welcome to another video. Being that it is turning fall now, I wanted to do a pumpkin video, and it is about mid-September, and this is a pattern that I have been approved to do from allfreecrochet.com. It is actually called the Mango Pumpkin Pincushion. However, it can double as a stuffed pumpkin. If you go to allfreecrochet.com and you type in mango pumpkin, or you can type in mango or pincushion or pumpkin, it will bring this pattern up, and it's classified as easy. You'll see that theirs looks a little bit different from mine because they have 8 sections and I only have 4. And we'll get more into that as we go along. I only wanted to put the 4 sections because I'm not using it as a pincushion. I'm just using it as a decoration for Halloween. So this is the project that we'll be doing today. So basically you will need to print your pattern or pull it up on your computer. You can do this in any color. They have an example piece as well as the orange one, and when you click on the actual pattern you will see one that they have done in a turquoise as well, which I think is very beautiful. So don't limit yourself to just orange. You can do this in many colors. I will be doing mine this time, and this is done in Karen yarn, by the way. I'm going to be doing it in a lighter orange, and then my stem will be more of a lime soft green. So these will be a decoration for me personally for Halloween. As we get started with that, it calls for an E4 hook or a 3.5. I made this a tad bit bigger, so I'm using a 4. You can use any size you want. That really doesn't matter. And of course it calls for the again Karen yarn. I will be supporting that yarn. So make sure to pull that pattern up, get your yarn ready. These are my yarn combinations. Get your hook size ready, and again you will be making the leaves, so pick your colors wisely, and get your scissors, and I will meet you back up for this fun pattern. Alright guys, let's start our pattern. Just one note that if you're using a 3.5mm hook, your pumpkin will measure 3 inches wide and 1.5 inches tall. If you're using a bigger hook, it will measure a little bit bigger. I do have a stitch marker, and you will be working in rounds, so it's a good idea to grab one of those. So round 1 doesn't say to do this, but if you look where it says to work 5 single crochet and second chain from the hook, you do need to go ahead and chain 2 to do that. Sorry about that. So chain 2, and you're going to single crochet 5 in the second chain from the hook. So that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're not joining, we're working in rounds. So what you want to do is join into that beginning, not joining, I'm sorry, I'm used to saying that. You want to go into that beginning stitch and just immediately jump in and do 2 single crochet into that first one. So there's 2, 2 in the next, so there's 4, 2 in the next, that's 6, 2 in the next, that's 8, and 2 in the next. So that is going to be 10. So you have doubled your stitch count at this point. So now round 3, you're going to continue increasing. You will do a single crochet in the first stitch and 2 in the next. So this is where you will start using your marker. So in this first stitch, and every round you do want to kind of count your stitches just to make sure you're on track, okay? So you need to make sure to do that. So in this next stitch, you want to put 1. Grab your stitch marker and hook that into that stitch. So the next stitch gets 2. So that's going to be a total of 3. Next one gets 1. Next one gets 2. And this is an not intermediate, but this pattern is classified, I believe, as an easy pattern, but it is a lot of increasing and decreasing. So if I'm not going to really go off here and do a lot of explaining on how to increase and decrease, because if you're doing this pattern, I need you to already know how to do that thoroughly. And if you don't, you can go to my tutorial on how to do that. So make sure you do that before you tackle this pattern. So now let's go do 1 in the next, 2 in the next, 1 in the next, 2 in the next, 1 in the next, and 2 in the next. Okay, so at this point, that should give us a total of 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So that's what I have. Now if you want to play it safe and move your marker up each row, you can do that. So row 4, and every increase round is going to move you up 5 stitches, okay? So the next one, you're going to do 1 in the next. Take that marker and put it in that stitch. Okay, so that was 1 in the next, 1 in the next here. So you have 2 single stitches, and then the next one gets 2. That's your increase. So every row you increase gets another individual single crochet in it before you get to your increase, okay? So single, single, double. Then you get to go to another single, single, double. So just kind of funny terminology. So you get 1, 1, and 2. 1, 1, and 2. In the last set, 1, 1, and 2. So again, if you're doing your increases correctly, you will always end up with an increase in that last stitch. So this round, you will end up with 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay, so all good so far. I'm not going to continue to count mine. You guys make sure to continue counting. Now, row 5 is row 5 to row 10 is just going to be the same, but you're just going to add one more single in between or before your increase, okay? So this last round we did 2 singles. Now we're going to go up to 3. So you're going to put 1 here. Put your marker right back in that stitch. Okay, so you did 1, 1. So last row was just 1, 1. Now this row you're going to add another one, and then you're going to do your increase. Okay. Now you're going to do 1, 1, and 1. So we're up to 3 singles on this row, and then you're going to do your increase. So do your 3 singles here, 1 in each stitch, and then your increase. So 3 singles, then your increase. Okay, last one. So 1, 1, and 1. And then the last one should be an increase if you did it all correctly. Okay? So then you count, take your stitch marker out, and then that should give you 25. Now row 6, you're going to do 1. Put your marker back in there. So you did 1. So this time you're going to do 4 singles. 1, 2, 3. 3 was on the last row, so now you're doing the 4. Then you're going to do your increase. Okay, then you'll start that over. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now your increase. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Increase. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Increase. 1, 2, 3, and 4. The last one should be an increase. Okay, so that should have you up at 30 stitches. So now you're just going to repeat the next 4 rows the same way, going up 1 extra stitch. Okay, so by the time you're up to row 10, you should have 8 single crochet in between your increase. Okay, so you should have 50 stitches. I'm going to let you go for the next 4 rounds. So go to row 10, which you should have 50 single crochet around. Okay, and then I'm going to meet you back up when we get to the end of row 10. So when it's time to do row 11, I'm going to meet you back up. Just keep doing what you're doing. Count your rows, or count your single crochet when you get to 50 of them around. At the end of row 10, you will be completely finished with your increases. And also, let me clarify, this pattern is also on favecrafts.com along with allfreecrochet.com. But the actual permission came from favecrafts.com. That is a correction. So, anyway, finish this up with rows rows 7, 8, 9, and 10, increasing 1 more stitch as you go, and I will meet you up for row 11. Alright everybody, I have completed all the way through row 10, which is the completion of our increase rounds. So now what you're seeing is how big your circumference of your pumpkin will be. So now what you're going to do, and you will need your stitch marker again. So now what you're going to do is for rounds 11 through 16, you're going to do nothing but single crochet. So once you have completed row 16, you will then meet me back up, and we will then start row 17 with our decreasing. And the decreasing will just go backwards from the increasing rounds that we did. So all you're going to do is just start in the next stitch and just start single crocheting. But now what you want to do is you definitely want to mark this, okay? So just put your single or your slip, I'm going to cut my tongue out. It's too many S words. Put your stitch marker in the round that you start with, okay? And then just start going around with row 11. So rows 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 will all just be simple single crochet. And you can get creative with this if you wanted to add different shades of stripes, shades of orange or black or green. You can do that. You know, I don't feel like colors have to be what, you know, the patterns all call for. I feel like if you want to play around with color, by all means do so. I think the more color, the happier the pattern. So just play around with your color. You can add different stripes if you want to do that. And just go for it. So rounds 11 through 16 are nothing more than continual round single crochet. So please do not join any of your rounds and do not add a chain 1 to any of that. You will mess up your pattern that way. So I will meet you back up at the end of my round 16, and then we will start our decreasing for the pumpkin, and then we will get to start stuffing our little pumpkin. So go ahead and continue that, and I will meet you back up once I'm at that point. Okay, so I'll meet you back up. Alright guys, I have completed my rounds 11 through 16, and I have flipped my pumpkin inside out now, so you may want to do that. So now what we're going to do is round 17. You're going to start decreasing. So what we're going to do is you're going to single crochet in the next 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then the next 2 will be a single crochet together. So go into the next stitch, grab your yarn, pull up, go into the next stitch, grab your yarn, pull up. You want 3 on that hook, yarn over, pull those 2 together. So you just made 2 stitches into 1. And then you're just going to repeat that process. So you want to single crochet in the next 8. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, and then the next 2, you will join those 2 together. And you kind of want to pull those snug, because when you're joining 2 stitches together, they tend to leave a gap right in here. And the only way to remedy that is to make sure you pull that real close together. Okay, so now start those single crochets again. So 8 all together. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Oh, my yarn. Okay. The next 2 go together. And there you have it. So you're going to complete this row all the way to your stitch marker just like that.